So the Gemara asks the following kasha: Velisni kikros shel balabayis liyin chometz b'Pesach. Because once you have a loaf of homemade bread, that is considered a davar chashuv, and of course chometz Pesach is also b'anoah. So the Gemara answers that man shamet diamarle, who's the one who says that if it's kikros shel balabayis, it has the status of chashivus and therefore it's not bottle in shishim, it's also b'mashu. That's Rabbi Akiva, Otadule Hasam, and Rabbi Akiva himself in the Mishnah there in Masechta Ol is quoted. As it says there, Rabbi Akiva Mosif Af Kikro Shel Balabayis. So there's no need for our Mishnah to list Kikro Shel Balabayis. And I think you might want to add here that since Kikro Shel Balabayis is the exception to the rule, because in most cases the Chometz is not Choshev, and therefore it is Batel, therefore our Mishnah leaves it out. There's a case of Chshivus in Chometz b'Pesach, Kikro Shel Balabayis. That was already covered when the Mishnah in Orla quoted Rabbi Akiva. Now, the concluding part of the Mishnah says Hare Elu, and that's always coming as a miyut. The Mishnah didn't have to formulate a klal once we have all the details already listed above. So lemute mai lemute davar sheminyan v'lav isuriano inami lemute isuriano v'lo davar sheminyan. So to emphasize that we need both conditions, and here we are in the Mishnah on Daf Ayin Dalid on the bottom. Yayin nesach shenofal lebar. So there's wine that's mutter in the bar, and the yayin nesach falls into the bar. Kulo osur bano. In other words, since the yayin nesach is not botel, as we said in the previous Mishnah, and therefore it's osur b'mashu, that isur b'mashu generates an isur hano on the wine that's in the bar. Rav Shimon Gamliel Omer, he has a way of understanding that you can still allow the Jew to sell the mixture of yayin nesach with yayin shel heter, even though normally that sale would be prohibited. But what he does is he has to subtract the amount of value of the yayin nesach that's mixed in. And this is the opposite of Hanan, meaning this means that the yayin per se, the permitted wine in the bar, is not really asur. It's asur because of the yayin nesach that's mixed in. So therefore, says Reb Shimon Gamliel, if he simply subtracts from the charge the value of the yayin nesach that fell into the bar, then he's okay. He's not getting hana from the yayin nesach. Amar Rav, halacha Reb Shimon Gamliel. Says Rav, we don't always accept the principle of Reb Shimon Gamliel, but we accept it with regard to chavis bechavios. If one barrel of yayin nesach wine gets mixed up with many other barrels of yayin shel heter, so there's no actual mixture of the yayin per se, it's the barrels that contain the yayin, then Rav Shimon Gamliel will tell you that sell all the barrels of wine, amongst them, of course, the barrel of yayin nesach, but take the value of that barrel of yayin nesach and throw it into the yamamel, so you don't get any anah from it. Avolo yayin b'yayin. Says Rav, we're not going to go as far as to accept Rav Shimon Gamliel in the case of a mixture of wine with wine. And in such a case where there's a mixture of wine with wine, then we're going to say that we don't follow Rav Shimon Gamliel, but rather we assume that the nesach wine actually permeates throughout the entire mixture with the permitted wine. And now we say Hanan, now we say that the permitted wine itself becomes a chefta d'isura, inherently asur, and you cannot benefit from it at all. You can't sell it minus the yayin nesach sheba. However, Shmuel disagrees, Omar. Afilu yayin b'yayin. We're going to accept Rav Shimon Gamliel all the way, even if there's a mixture of yayin b'yayin, and we're going to permit you to sell that mixture minus the yayin nesach sheba. V'chein Omer Rabba bar Omer Rabbi Yochanan, afilu yayin b'yayin, v'chein Omer Rav Shmuel bar Nosson Rav Chanina, afilu b'yayin yayin, v'chein Omer Rav Nachman Omer Rabba Avua, afilu yayin b'yayin. So basically, the bottom line here is that we accept la halacha the shita of Shimon Gamliel even in a mixture of wine and wine. Omer of Nachman halacha lemaisa yayin beyayin os. So this is very, surprising to us because, after all these great Amoraim that accepted halacha b'shum Gamliel even in yayin beyayin l'kula, now we have Rav Nachman as like the final word. Halacha l'maisa, he's paskening that yayin beyayin is asur, like Rav, and the only context in which we will accept the shita of Rav Shimon Gamliel is chavis b'chavis muta. Now, all that is in a case where the idol worshiper worshipped by doing nisuch with the yayin, and that's the yayin nesach or rice that fell into this tarovas. However, stam yayin, which is only rabbinic, it's only a drabanan, that the guy touched the wine, but we have no evidence to establish that he actually was menaseach the wine to avodas kochavim. So in that case, with the rabbanan, afilu yayin b'yayin mutter, here we can accept Reb Shimon Gamliel. And this leads us to the Mishnah on Daf Ayin Dalid Amud Beis.